What happened in Benue State is one of the most shameful displays of governance that has ever been witnessed. Over 200 people in the Benue community of Yelwata lost their lives in this attack, and that does not even include those that were injured, those that were assaulted, and the culprits were headsmen. My heart goes out to the families and friends of those who lost their lives in the gruesome attack on the 14th of June. Sadly, these clashes, these headsmen attacks are not new to Nigeria. They've been happening and they've been ramping up in the past few weeks, past few months. But this one was particularly gruesome, for over 200 people to lose their lives in one attack. How this case was handled by the government, the police in just this short time just shows a serious lack of competence. Because following this terrible attack on Yelwata, the people of the community decided to do something about it, and they went out into the streets to protest so an end to all these gruesome attacks on the state. Bad enough as their experience was, these people are grieving and they are coming out to let their voices be heard. The police actually tear gassed these citizens that are protesting for an end for violence in their state. They were tear gassed by the police. And even when the police was asked, why this was done, they are now saying that they were not aware that there were any protests in the state. As if that wasn't bad enough, the president, in his delayed response to this attack, put out a statement saying that he was going to clear his schedule to visit those affected by the Benue attack. Clear his schedule. Like that's a direct quote.
In his very busy schedule, very busy, very tight, I decided to make small time, create time.
That phrasing of words alone, in such a dire situation is already very disheartening. But it's something we've come to expect. I mean, when somebody uses clear their schedule, you would think that they are talking about like a business meeting that you have to fit you into that. Of course, it's not urgent, it's not priority, because you have to plan for a future date. As a president, and this is known all over the world, the safety, and protection of lives of your citizens is your number one priority. Like, it supersedes every other priority as president. And you're talking about clearing your schedule when that is your schedule, that is your responsibility as president of the country, and it just makes me sick. So the president now scheduled himself to come and survey the damage some 4 days after the attack. As if that wasn't bad enough, the governor of Benue State, who seemingly has the same political leanings as the president, rolled out the welcome carpets for the president like he was doing them a favor by coming to visit them after the devastation, putting out billboards saying, "Thank you, President, for your condolence visits to the state." Thanking the president. This is before the president had already arrived. There are already banners being put on the streets. Either he doesn't understand the concept of a condolence visit, or there's a whole lot of craziness going on. People are legitimately losing their minds in this country. Loss of lives of people in your own state is now being used for political gains, and is even being turned on his head as a positive for the president. And it doesn't even stop there. The governor declared a public holiday, I guess, to mourn the victims of the attack, but who knows at this point, because even after declaring the holiday, school students were still made to come to school, and not just that, they were made to stand outside in the rain to welcome the president as he passed in his convoy. They were made to stand in the rain in their school uniforms and sing the national anthem for the president to pass. These are young kids that I'm sure they don't even understand what the hell is going on. This is such an excessive display of arrogance and propaganda at all costs kind of governance. I don't know what that was meant to achieve. So the president finally made it to the States Wednesday afternoon and went and did photo ops in the hospital where he was visiting some of the injured, wearing a face mask, which I believe is probably to prevent him from talking to any press or media. And even as I speak now, it seems like this gruesome attack is already being wiped from public consciousness. Narratives are already starting to be set online as to what actually might have caused this attack. It seems like whenever gruesome things like this happen in Nigeria, things of this nature which have been happening in increasing capacity, that the government, their major concern is how to spin the narrative in their favor for them to look good in the eyes of the media and the eyes of the international community, and not address the happening whatsoever in any way or form. Any display of concern is always surface level, and there is never any talk as to how to actually solve the issue at hand. Like I said, these clashes, these attacks by herdsmen have been happening, and even the state governor, who is more directly involved in the lives of the citizens, for him to try and use this occasion as a propaganda opportunity is just saddening. To those of Benue State, those affected by this, I condole with you on this terrible occurrence. I hope such thing does not happen again in future. And I pray that this is a wake-up call to the authorities to take this seriously. This is the farming season. This is when the farmers are more active in the farm. And for the attacks to be ramping up this period does not bode well for the economy, does not bode well for food security. So it's something that needs to be high on the priority of the government. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing your comments on this gruesome situation. Let me know what happened, what you think about the attack in the comments below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to the channel for sincere commentary on issues affecting the country just like this one. My name is Obi King. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.